Hey everybody, YPJ here, morning devotion. Hope everybody's having a great day. Starting out anyways, unless depends on when you're watching this. Today I just want to talk to you about, for many of us, we struggle with that question of whether we are important or not. Um, Society says that, maybe our friends even say that we have to wear just the right clothes. We got to drive the right car. We got to look a certain way. Do our shoes have a little swoosh on them? Do they got the right outline of the right basketball player? Does our car look nice enough? Did it cost enough? Do our parents live in a nice enough house? Um, we have all these standards. Is our body the right shape? Are we does our face look a certain way? Do we wear the right makeup? All this stuff, all these things are constantly coming at us on whether people approve of us or not, whether people care about us or not. Do we like the right people? Do we do we hang out with the right people? Do we got the right boyfriend or the right girlfriend? All these questions that people judge us by. But I just want to share some things about what God said through his different people that wrote the Bible. David, in Psalms, in Psalm 139, 13 and 14 says, "For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well." So, here's the thing, is that we are no accident. Not None of us are accidents. We were fearfully and wonderfully made by God. He's got a plan for you. He made you wonderful. And so, even if those around you don't accept that, we as Christians have to understand that we are wonderfully made by a God who loves us. So in Romans 9, Paul, talking about us being made, uses the illustration of a potter making a pot. I don't know if you've ever watched a potter on a spinning wheel. They throw that lump of clay down there and throw some water on there, and just using their hands and a few simple tools, they start forming that and shaping it, and a little more water, and by the time they're done, it's this amazing bowl or vase or something that they've sat there and made, just right in front of you. And it's an amazing thing to watch. And let me get to Romans here. And so that's what Paul talks about, us being like that clay, and God's that potter. And it may sound a little strange at first when you read that, but it says, "Who are you, O man, to answer back to God? Will what is molded say to the molder, why have you made me like this? Has the potter no right over the clay to make out of the same lump one vessel for honorable use and another for dishonorable use? What if God, desiring to show his wrath and to make known his power, has endured with much patience vessels of wrath prepared for destruction?" And now I know he's talking about some different things there, and we're not going to get into them all today, but just that the potter, and this is important to remember, is that God is our creator. And God, I've talked about this on Wednesday night, I've talked about it on Sunday, I've talked about it quite a bit, that God has something for you in your life. God has a purpose for you. He doesn't create you just for nothing, just to go through life and do absolutely nothing. God has a plan for you. He has something that He wants you to do. He has a purpose for you. And kind of the honorable use or dishonorable use, it's kind of, but it's just talking about that everybody has a plan, that everybody has a purpose in God's grand scheme. And I know I've talked about this before on Wednesday night, but we're not all called to do the great things by our standards. We are called to do great things by God's standards, because if God calls us to do them, it's to fulfill His purpose and His plan, and so it is a great thing. And so if God calls us to set up and tear down tables on Wednesday night, then it's a good thing, because it fits His purpose in some way. And it's serving Him by serving others. If He calls us to scrub toilets, then we scrub toilets to the glory of God, because that's what He wants us to do. And so, like I said, I know some of that we struggle with, that being called a lump of clay, because we're taught that this self-esteem thing, that we are great, we are wonderful, and that's true. We are wonderfully made by a great God, and He loves us. But we can't take our focus off Him. We can't take our focus off the one who created us and start looking at ourselves as better than what we are. I talked about if Christ abides in us and we abide in Him, we can do great things. But apart from Him, we can do nothing. That's in John 15:5. And so it's with Christ. I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. Just verse after verse talks about how with God we can do great things, but apart from Him, it's garbage, it's filthy rags. And so it's so important just to remember that our identity needs to be in Christ, our purpose needs to be in Christ, our life needs to be in Christ. So I hope you all have a great day, and just a great time. As I said, one of my previous blogs, and as you know from Wednesday night, I am going on vacation. I'm not sure how my Wi-Fi connection in some of those places are going to be, so I don't know if I'll be able to post. But again, I just hope you guys have a great day. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and you can get the updates when they come. And also, as I always say, delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart.